What's the general dummy operation? Doug. Well. Oh, Doug. Well, hand me that guitar. Hand me that guitar, Doug. Let's get this show on the road. Here's when you'll know.
Hello everybody, happy Thursday. It's me, Scoutmaster Demi. Hope you guys are all doing really well. I'm bundled up. It's so cold. It is really, really cold in the area where I live. It's got a lot of rain going crazy. You know, sorry, give me a sec. Okay. Yeah, look, I don't want people to tell me, oh, well, it's colder where I live or whatever, because it's cold for me, and I don't like the rain when it's pouring like this. I mean, I like a little bit of rain every now and then, but, you know, definitely annoying. Also hope everyone is doing super, super well, for real. We did just upload some new badges, some subscriber badges rather, just to test and see how they look like. I'm not necessarily sticking with them just yet. I want to make sure that they look pretty good on mobile and things. I think maybe a little bit of extra detail. It's hard though, because they're so small, right? It's hard to get a lot of detail on these little pixels, but I think many of them look really, really good. And certainly don't want people thinking that graham crackers are waffle biscuits, so maybe we can add a little bit of extra detail in whatever way we can. I'll talk to Toon. She's doing a really, really good job. Yes, indeed. Yes. I have no insulation or heating. That's exactly right, Kel. That's a really good point. That's a super good point, right? Because otherwise, maybe it'd be a little bit easier or a little bit better. Cabo, how are you, my friend? What have you been playing? I'm sure Persona 3 Reloaded. You still blew me away with that DLC info. I can't believe I missed that. The Answer DLC. That really, some of that just totally snuck by me. To be fair, it seems kind of early for them to announce something like that, but I guess, you know, it's been a month, I guess, since the game came out, so maybe that's not too early at the end of the day. Hey there, Hedgehog, nice to see you. How was the dentist? Did you get your teeth cleaned and you feel really good? I've been considering getting one of those, like, metal scrapers just to, like, scrape a little bit of, like, you know, plaque off my teeth every now and then. We're playing P5 right now, nice. Oh, so it's that good? It got you in the mood, huh? If it's that good, that's pretty, I think that says a lot, if that's the case. You have no teeth anymore! They're made of wood. They're Woodman teeth, as we all know. Let me load up my controller. Looking good. Okay, we're very close to finishing off this case right here. And then I guess we'll start with the last one. I will say, too, do you guys know what game just came out today? Duelists of Eden. I have been talking with the creator of Duelists of Eden, trying to see what a tournament might look like. Maybe the end of March would be fun to do something like that and see what it's like. I'm considering downloading it, maybe playing it out tomorrow, seeing how that goes. For whatever reason, Steam today is not really working for me, but I really want to check it out and see what it's like. It's only like $5 too. It's like, how can they say no to that? SMT5 coming out soon, yeah, for other consoles, right? Not just Switch frame rate, so that's good. All right, let me go ahead and pour some water for me. I'm really tired and thirsty. The time has come to uncover the truth. Oh, wow, I paused. Are you serious? Are you serious? I paused? I quit the game one screen before the chapter break. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I literally quit the game right. If I pressed the A button one more time, it would have been the perfect cutoff. That is hysterical. That is absolutely hysterical. Tacky, thank you for the clip. I know I had the same thought, my friend. Also hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is look at that. Everyone had the same thought. That's the funniest freaking thing. Literally one button press away. Holy cow. For real though, is anyone here interested in Duelist of Eden? Because I've been really curious about it. I liked One Step from Eden a lot. And so the idea of a multiplayer version I think is could be pretty compelling. Look at that. We're actually in a courtroom too. Just like Ace Attorney. Okay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for is already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Huh. Detective Bad is so cool. He's so cool. It is a, terrible. It is a, hey there, Thunder Warrior, super nice to see you. Thunder Warrior, are you interested in Duelist of Eden? Yeah, so it's kind of like a sequel to One Step, but if you played One Step, it was like a single-player roguelike. This is straight-up multiplayer and with a similar combat system. I don't know how you get cards. I don't know how that works, but yeah, kind of cool. Really cool, actually. I've also been waiting for this moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay the case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery, and why, even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end. Oh, was that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there was no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have. Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there was always time for rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Oh, how absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Look at this. Actually in court. That's really great. It comes out today, Vizard. Really nice to see you. I think it straight up came out today. Or if not right today, maybe in like a few hours or something. I kind of want to check it out tomorrow and this weekend and maybe start playing some games and see how it is. Take a tiny DS break. Everyone sans the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there was no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Yeah, and again, it's only like $5. It's so inexpensive. I thought it'd be like at least $10. Now that you have a testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve. I like this way of thinking that Edgeworth has. I like this way of thinking. That's really cool. Everyone except for the suspect has an alibi, huh? Is that right? The suspect? But I thought Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Haha! Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate what he did during the snacking. She's done her research well, which means I should focus on drawing out whatever other trump card she has. The areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated. Is that right? Did you investigate the windows that were open? Whether they've been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. Haha! The scrunched eyebrows and lines in your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? Haha! That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant. Just bought it! Nice! I want to know how you think it is, Lizard. I wonder how everyone thinks it is. No possible escape route. Leaves us with one unshakable conclusion.
Hold it.
Let's press this too. We should press everything. Are you absolutely positive there's no possible escape routes? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it. Just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ugh! You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it who placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used. Even if you know someone doesn't mean you know which hand they'll write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire a little into something about her argument. You said earlier you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. Kirito! Nice to see you, Kirito! Happy Thursday! Kirito, we were just talking about Duelists of Eden. Are you interested in checking out Duelists of Eden? It's a game that's similar to Battle Network. Just came out today. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason she bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Ms. Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap, meant to manipulate our perception. Sorry, but your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth.
Take that!
That tape? Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented today. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2 that was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. Ah, but I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone else heard it. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come off. And since we now know the method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Gumshoe. Sounds from a television don't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we do! Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of the courtroom's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea about that. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot as clear as day. And... that's it! End of story! But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot? Yep, just came out today, yeah. On Steam. It's on Steam. I think it's only on Steam currently. It might be on other consoles as well, but... It is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners, a window was open in each. A window in lobby number 1 was also opened. You sent someone to a Karen. Hey, they're Daedalus. Yeah, she really does, doesn't she? She totally sounds like a Karen. It's only on Steam right now. Daedalus, are you interested in Duelist of Eden? We've been talking a lot about that currently. Huh. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was that window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause it. The person who triggered that action is the real guilty party. Look at this. Callisto U.
Take that!
Miss Callisto U, I hereby formally indict you on the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. What? You indict me? Oh, look at that reaction. Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious, because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Ha! Ha ha! Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not have been tight enough yet. Although I never would have thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Oh, we know we're on, gang. You argue the window was opened. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic full of holes such as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow by. Now it's time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Ah, working on War Thunder. Ah, very, very cool, man. Daedalus, you have such a cool job. I really love to hear that. You argue the window was open. However, you have proof that it was I who did that. I guess I could present my evidence. All I'd like to do is have some prints analyzed. Huh. Be my guest. She sounds as though she has the room to maneuver. Which means, even if we were able to lip prints, they'd only show that it was someone else, but... why that someone else was forced to open the window, that's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that evidence? I have nothing to lose. What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows, lines in your forehead, they're back. More importantly, you're gonna be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, well in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony. Where's that makeup? I mean, that perfume. Objection! How is War Thunder? I've heard a lot about War Thunder. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Ha! Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. What? This isn't mine! That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Ha! Ha ha! Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Honestly, right? I know, right, Kirito? Ain't that the truth? They really should do more with that battle system. That's why I'm excited for duels. You would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck we heard the gunshot. The timing of when you were going to spill it is something you could control. And the most important factor of this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself. You mean? Ms. Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought of by you, Ms. Yu. Grr. Ha ha ha. You accused me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. Retro, you came just in time. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Retro, you came just in time, my friend. Also, after the acoustic aquatic ambiance, are you talking about the Persona 5 song, Wizard? Yeah, that's Days My Mother Were Here. Futaba's Dungeon from Persona 5. Would you care to testify as to the why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow wary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Mr. Fab, what's good? Mr. Fab, are you interested in Duelist of Eden? I don't think I've ever checked if you have a good PC for Steam. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking in information, I'll draw it out of her. Yeah! I'm gonna play it probably tomorrow or this weekend. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Wow. I formally request you to desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. Ha! All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you? Say such a thing. Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Aw, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? Seikai, nice to see you. Ooh. I would guess so, Retro. I would guess so. I know, isn't it so good, Seikai? It's so good. I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. At this rate, she'll inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Ms. Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing. Huh, but I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Ha ha ha! So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with those lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had to present was the key. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come, be honest. Heh, I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you said to your testimony. Sure, why not? Look at this double eye. Wow, another Another typo. These are pretty rare in Ace Attorney games. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. Miss Yu, I would just like to confirm something with you one more time. About what's gonna happen to Detective Gumshoe after this? I don't need to ask you about that, because he isn't the killer. Pfft, looks like the number of wrinkles on your forehead have increased yet again. That issue aside, Miss Yu, I'd like to ask you about what was inside the bag. You were sure it was the Atagarasu's key, correct? Pogajo! Pogajo came in time. That's why I'm completely baffled as to where it could have come from. I think I've just spotted the road to a perfect victory. Finally, you've revealed your true identity, Miss Yu. I know. All I have to do now is present the evidence. But what is this ominous feeling I can't shake? Ooh, RPG! How are you, RPG? I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Atagarasu sent to the police. However, do you like him, Retro? Do you like him? And you can be honest, you guys, I'm looking for honest feedback because we can tweak things a little bit. We can tweak things a little bit too. I'm legit curious what people think about him. Yes, yeah, chocolate for 2 years, exactly, Pogajo, yeah. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Atagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew the key was inside his bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Atagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now, just knowing of the existence of the key? I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would even now still feign ignorance. Ha! I'm not feigning anything. Okay, I'm glad to hear you like it, Pogajo. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I know, great animation RPG. Mr. Von Karm, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now, Edgeworth? Why would you give that to her? But of course you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Atagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, who would never be privy to this trick, would never have known about it to begin with. Edgeworth, you just handed her a knife. Just show her. Furthermore, there's something the Atagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rowell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What you're saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. It's a good argument. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified info even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on this case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I have a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. Then, I suppose you're right. Ms. Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Ha ha ha! It kind of does look like a beef teriyaki stick. Well, why don't you put your money in your mouth and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. The secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Well, the Yatagarasu himself. There was only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. Ha! And that is the person who sent the key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief? It's you. You used Mr. Rel to lure him into a trap, didn't you? Oh, I know exactly what you mean too, by the way, Daedalus. I know exactly what you mean. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You! Look at him sweating bullets. You killed Faraday! Why? Answer me, Callisto Yu! Ha ha ha! Callisto Yu, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the Great Thief. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor. All he had to do was accuse Faraday of being the Yatagarasu. But once we entered recess, Rel was dragged off by Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was about to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on their way, I would have been found out. And that's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say you despised criminals? But I do, really. Or do I really? You! Have you forgotten about the KG-8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then it was your plan to kill Faraday with the very evidence that you sent. Haha! Well, I had a good idea of what Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence. Which is why I thought to use the knife position. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser, because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk to Mr. Faraday, and in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the key just like that. He never noticed I had changed it into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led the killer to think about them setting up each other as though they killed them. And the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd get caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client? Ha ha ha! Client. If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cardopian Embassy staff member, Dade Mann. You ordered a hit job. Ha! You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dade Mann killed because he was about to give info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this? You don't mean... You're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Ha 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 ha. Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Atagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. Ha 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 ha. That's alright, little girl. The Atagarasu was just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know? The Atagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Ha ha ha! No, well, let me tell you. It means that the Atagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Wow. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Atagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean... The key was your real target? And even after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! Eek! Ugh, my body. I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right! You! Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot. Wow, look at that. The day before September 11th. Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bat, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay, just got another hole in my jacket. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean Mr. Edgeworth, Ms. Von Karma, are you two hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir! I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir! It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But, in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Better not you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops! Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, haven't we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. He's gonna make him lose his salary. Yeah, I love this Detective Gumshoe theme. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yeah, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied to you too, so I didn't really help anything. It's not really your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give it all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? The proof of their friendship. It's a Swiss roll. Right?
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll! Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all. Thanks a bunch! You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. That Swiss roll that Kay and Detective Gumshoe bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the hearts of this detective. He's so happy it's almost as though he's got a welcome back celebration. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop, that was good, pal. Can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? He only just noticed now. Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go and join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first. You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rudy anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Look at this. Look at this great little scene. Actually, Gumshoe does look really young in this scene too, doesn't he? I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home now too, Miles. We should report what happened to Papa. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir, and don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now legal. I'm just kidding. She's not, by the way. She's 17. So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Okay. It's been a while. Hey, you sure grew up a lot! Of course, but thank goodness, I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where you been all this time? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to live at my mother's relatives. They live really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Ah, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently.
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? That is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible! What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you. Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. Card received by the embassy. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card. Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady's behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and knew I couldn't let it go. I was joking! That was a joke. It's just... So the way the sentence was going, I just felt it was very funny. I searched you out so you could obtain the truth. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying I have your father's and Miss Yu's identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble one. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks, I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I cannot be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to be supporting now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is to arrest that evil woman. That evil woman. You mean Callisto Yu. I think it's hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I love that smile Edgeworth has. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. Even though he'd completely forgotten about her until just now. Ugh, what is with their chummy relationship? I would say objection to that, Daedalus. The great thief. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing... Wow, what a word. Phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief, Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Here we go, gang. Here we go. Okay, give me just a second, you guys. Oh, did someone raid? Oh, yo, Thunder, thanks for the Prime. Thunder, I love it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thunder, you can get yourself a little marshmallow soon too. We just got these subscriber badges today. Deck building and how you acquire cards is through level. Oh, cool. So there's no like booster packs or randomized things or anything? All you gotta do is level up and you can get the cards you want. Turnabout ablaze. The final case. My Keyblade? You think I'd use my Keyblade? 2 cards. One of the Black Raven. And one of the White Raven. A country torn in two. One to the west. And one to the east. When those which were split are made whole again, the truth will reveal itself. It's the Yatagarasu! Yatagarasu's here! You, accursed Yatagarasu! K, you! That's a great opening. Hell, good night to you, Daedalus. I think that's one of my favorite openings to a case. Poor Edgeworth. We're finally in the present and we finally get to sip some tea. It's so nice, almost dreamlike, to finally have the chance to relax and sip some tea. Especially after what a whirlwind the past few days have been. On my return flight, I was dragged into a case involving an Interpol agent murder. The next day, I investigated a kidnapping and a murder at Gatewater Land. And later that night, a detective's dead body welcomed me back to my office. Along with a thief who was out to pilfer files related to a case from 10 years ago. How did I manage to find myself in the middle of so many cases back to back? Well, at least I have today. All I ask is that I be allowed to spend it quietly. Mr. Edgeworth! This is big, I tell ya! Hey, what's with you? Where's your enthusiasm? And suddenly, the phrase, the fragility of dreams, comes to mind. What are you talking about, fragile dreams? Come on, let's go! The fake Yatagarasu isn't just gonna find herself, you know. Well, if you must know, it's possible I was paid a visit last night by your fake. Say what? Oh, the shopkeeper you can play as. That's fun. That's fun, you can play as the shopkeeper. It'd be fun to check out all the different playstyles. Unfortunately for us, the thief managed to escape. But even now, we're still looking for this criminal. However, I must warn you that we've only had a few hours to search so far. So I must insist that you be patient on this one, Kay. What's with you today? Are you sure you aren't sleep talking to me right now? Anyway, I've got something much more important that I want you to see. Oh, and that is... Take a look at this. On March 14th, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. That's quite a bold declaration to send to an embassy. I suppose it was inevitable that the newspaper would catch wind of this. The date the card mentions is today. Today, huh? Come on, we gotta hurry! The embassy awaits! I suppose it is quite an urgent matter. However, do you know which country's embassy we should be investigating? Well, it's some really special country, and I'm actually really fuzzy on the details. But never mind that. Where's all your energy? Why are you so lackadaisical today? I'm not, Kay. You're just too wound up. Well then, you should get wound up too. Because this might just be our chance to catch that woman. You mean Ms. Yu? The woman who killed Kay's father, Byrne Faraday. Callisto Yu. She claimed to be the great thief Yatagarasu, and then disappeared from the courtroom. Ah, she makes me so mad, the phony. Everyone knows the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a calling card, until a company's underhanded dealings are made public. the target is always totally unaware that the Yatagarasu has paid them a visit. That's what makes the real one so awesome. The Yatagarasu's card that's shown in this article. It looks to me as though it could be genuine. See, that's the thing. Whoever it is, that person isn't the real deal but has knowledge of the Yatagarasu. If that isn't a clue that that woman's involved, then nothing is. Ooh, look at those gloves. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, open the door. Out you go. Wait, there are a few preparations I must make before we go. They're such a fun... I love their dynamic. There's something interesting about this card we found last night here in my office. It's of a different color than the one in this article. What's up? Any reason you're boring a hole through that newspaper with your eyes? No, no reason at all. Very well, seeing as how Ms. Yu is also somewhat of a special nature to me. I agree there is some merit to be found in investigating this. I knew you'd come around. Also, the Ides of March, right? March 14th? Isn't that the Ides of March, or is that March 15th? By the light of this night's glorious moon. The Steel Samurai! Ready to embark on our nightly outing. And this is where our tale begins. Heh, what a coincidence. Who would have thought that a Steel Samurai stage show would ever be held at such an elegant theater inside a foreign embassy? Yeah, the climax was really awesome. Steel Samurai sushi slice! I got chills down my spine when he pulled the move out. I suppose it really is more impactful to watch a show in person than on television. I have to say though, this embassy is set up kind of funny. I mean, they have two countries sharing the same building. Well, as you said yourself, this place and the countries it houses are very special. Even this theater is special, and that is a neutral zone shared by two countries. So let me get this straight. The Steel Samurai show just now is being sponsored by one of the two countries. The one that's called the Kingdom of Alabast, right? Yes, it would appear the Steel Samurai is very popular in that country as well. But you know who I'm really into? The Jammin' Ninja. The Republic of Babal is sponsoring a Jammin' Ninja stage show. That's something for fangirls like me. We've totally got to see that, Mr. Edgeworth. The Jammin' Ninja show is gonna kick the Steel Samurai show rear end. You know, ever since I first met this girl, I've always had this inkling that what she really wants to be is not a thief, but rather a ninja. So anyway, about today's events, what was it called again? The Kingdom of Alabast versus the Republic of Babel Goodwill Jubilee. Alabast and Babel? Alabast, Babel. Oh, it's like Alaba, Baal. They're like swapped. That's clever. The small European countries of the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babel. These are honestly really compelling flag designs, I think. These two countries used to be a single entity that was abundant with nature. And it was called the Principality of Cordopia. Is everything alright, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, that's awesome, Vizard. I really want to play it, man. Is it all PvP? Do you play against computers as well? After a period of civil unrest, the country split into two. Their flags preserve the flower and butterfly motifs to this day. Codopia, huh? The KG8 incident, and what was referred as the second, in which an embassy staff member was murdered. Both of these cases were related to the Principality of Cordopia.